The footage began without sound, just flickers of movement, frames breathing in silence. I hadn't meant to watch it. The technician had emailed the final diagnostics report with a few attached clips, samples he called them. I clicked out of habit, expecting to see employees moving about, perhaps a delivery, maybe someone forgetting to badge in. But it wasn't that. It was her, Layla, my wife, in my office, late evening. She wasn't supposed to be there. I leaned closer, pulse syncing with the ticking clock above the monitor. Her hair fell over her face as she paced the room, then turned, toward someone standing off frame. A man's hand entered first, then the rest of him. Ethan, my assistant. I froze. Their bodies met halfway, an embrace too familiar to mistake. The camera caught everything, the nervous glance, the kiss that followed, the quiet laughter muffled against my desk. My desk. My hand hovered over the mouse, but I didn't stop it. I let the footage run until she adjusted her blouse and whispered something to him. He smiled, said something back. The camera had no audio, but the expression said enough. She looked happy, and I felt nothing. Not yet. Just stillness. A pause before the collapse. The mind protects itself by pretending, by rewriting what it sees. Maybe it was old footage. Maybe it wasn't them. Maybe it was a test, some cruel simulation. But the body knows before the mind accepts. My hands were trembling long after the video ended. Layla called that evening, her voice light, affectionate. Dinner tonight? I said yes, calmly, too calmly. When she arrived, I watched her move through the house, the way she hung her coat, poured wine, brushed her hair behind her ear. Everything ordinary suddenly felt staged. Every gesture was a performance I now knew the script to. She spoke about her day, about how helpful Ethan has been with the new campaign. I nodded, smiled, poured her another glass. Her laughter filled the dining room like smoke, thick, choking, and sweet. That night she fell asleep beside me, her breathing steady, innocent. I stared at the ceiling, the words "I saw you" pressing against my throat like glass. But I said nothing, not yet. The next morning I arrived at work earlier than usual. The building was quiet, the hum of the AC replaced by the faint rhythm of my shoes on tile. I opened Ethan's office. His jacket was hanging on the chair, his laptop still warm. A few clicks later, I found messages, hidden in a private folder, poorly disguised under presentation drafts. They weren't drafts. He's clueless. We'll tell him when the timing's right. Imagine being free. Her name appeared too many times. So did the word hours. I printed everything. Quietly, efficiently. At lunch, I watched them talk across the hallway. Ethan leaned closer than necessary. She smiled the way she used to when we first met. Soft, distracted, in love. It's a strange thing, watching your life from the outside. Like observing a movie where the protagonist hasn't yet realized he's the villain of someone else's story. That night, I replayed the footage again, frame by frame. Each pause felt surgical, like dissecting my own heart with gloved hands. The technician had fixed the glitch. He had fixed everything, including me. 2 days later, I called her into my office. She walked in smiling, carrying coffee. His coffee, from the place they always went to after work. "Everything okay?" she asked. "Sit," I said. Her smile faltered. I turned the monitor toward her, pressed play. The footage rolled in silence. Her eyes widened, a gasp slipping before she could contain it. She turned to me, face pale, lips trembling. "I can explain." I raised a hand. "No need." She looked at the screen again, as if hoping it would glitch, distort, erase what was clearly there. Her fingers curled around the edge of the desk. "I didn't mean—" "Don't," I said. "Calm. Just watch." Ethan entered at that exact frame. Her eyes filled with tears, as though the sequence itself was killing her inch by inch. When the clip ended, I shut the monitor off. Silence. She couldn't look at me. Her breath came in short, fractured bursts. I simply leaned back and smiled, barely. The next move was simple, predictable. I emailed the footage to HR, tagged it as a security breach investigation. No accusation, just evidence. By noon, Ethan's badge access was revoked. Layla's phone buzzed endlessly, her messages unanswered. That evening, she came home to find her belongings neatly packed in boxes. Divorce papers on the counter. No note, no words. She called my name once, soft, broken. I was in the study, looking out the window, phone in hand. Ethan's name flashed on the screen, then disappeared. She entered quietly. "You can't—" "I already did," I said. My voice didn't rise. It didn't need to. She sank to the floor beside the boxes. "Please, I made a mistake." I looked at her for a long time, not as my wife, just as someone I used to know. Then I said, "You didn't make a mistake, Layla. You made a choice," and walked past her. Her sobs followed me down the hall like echoes of a life I no longer lived. The next day, the office was quieter. People whispered, avoided eye contact. Ethan didn't show up. Neither did she. I worked through the day without pause, signed papers, answered calls. The company moved forward. So did I. That night, I deleted the footage, not out of forgiveness, out of finality. The screen went black, like a wound closing. I stood there for a while, hands steady now. Funny how silence can sound like freedom once the lies stop echoing. I turned off the lights and walked out. Behind me, the office camera blinked once, recording nothing. And for the first time in months, I didn't feel watched. I felt done.